To The Process. I am Josh Engleman, and I'm here to break it all down for Wednesday, February 17th. I had no idea what the date was right off the top of my head. Breaking it all down, 10-game slate. Was supposed to be 12, and we lost one for COVID. Then we lost one for something else, weather, and then they made another game, a different game. It's a really weird slate, but when push comes to shove, now we've got 10. That's pretty normal. It's going to take us a while, so I don't have too many pleasantries to dive into. We're going to need every bit of this. I didn't check my microphone to see if it's working properly today, so I assume I will know in a couple seconds if chat is going to actually be able to hear me. Because yesterday, I started quite poorly. So I'm going to hope that we're all good right now. Appreciate you guys being here. As you get in the door, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, notification bell, all that good stuff. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. I post updates to sim results for the NBA and all sorts of other nonsense pretty regularly. So Mike is good. That's the best way to start the show. Awesome to see. Coffee cups for everybody. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I started drinking my coffee already because it's a 10-game slate and it's Wednesday and I'm already tired. Chris won 13th last night, 8 points from 100K. It's a tough spot to be in. You feel great about 13th, but oof. You see that gap between what pays out at 13 and pays out at 1, and it stings a little bit. Eric Johnson, weather in the NBA. Yeah, weather's bad in Texas right now, so they axed the Dallas game, and then I don't know, like the Bulls are playing just Denver or something. I can't remember what it was. It's not important. It's not important. Good morning to everybody showing up right now. We got a fun one to dive into. Last night was meh. I was very happy to be heavy on Giannis, but ultimately, and Dame for that matter, ultimately did not matter. Did not have enough Josh Hart. Did not have Robert Williams. That was the problem. And then the rest of center just died. You had to have either Robert Williams or Jokic to have the keys to the castle. For a while, I thought Jokic was just going to be the runaway. At least on FanDuel, then he became quite a bit unnecessary. Well, not unnecessary, but he opened the door. It didn't finish as strong as I was expecting. Michael Porter Jr. is washed. Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. having 0 real points yesterday was an outcome that I would not have predicted. That was really ridiculous to see. But yeah, Josh Hart ended up having the keys to the castle, so to speak. It was not ideal, you know. I'll take it. I was feeling pretty good yesterday. A lot of what went well, I was very happy with my exposures. Just didn't matter all that much when push came to shove. Do I still have this loaded? No, I do. Yeah, so at least this is for FanDuel at the very least. Robert Williams and Jokic separated from the pack. They were basically like 8 points clear of everybody else, so it didn't really matter who else you had there. At power forward on FanDuel, Giannis was the clear top guy, and then you could really have had any one of Zion, Jeff Green, Robert Covington, and Crowder, and you would have kind of got the same sort of output. But Giannis was the linchpin. At or at point guard rather, since these are in an order that I'm not familiar with. Point guard was really weird. Connaughton, Campazzo, Dame, Schroeder. That was probably like the four-man combo you needed. I didn't have Connaughton. Him outscoring Campazzo became a bit of a problem. And then I really didn't have much Schroeder, but I was very heavy on Dame and had enough Campazzo. At the small forward spot, Josh Hart became basically the most essential play. He was 7 points clear of anything else you needed at small forward on his own. And that made him very essential if you wanted to try to hit an optimal and get clean to the top. After that, the rest of small forward was terrible. I mean, obviously, I had a boatload of Malik Beasley and Michael Porter Jr. and Middleton, and those guys were all absolutely dreadful. You needed Siakam was fine. LeBron was, I mean, like Siakam, LeBron, Joe Harris, Derek Jones Jr. You were better off. You didn't really need to win small forward last night. You just needed to avoid the landmines, and the landmines were Middleton, Michael Porter Jr., and that's basically it, I guess. Jaylen Brown to a lesser extent. And then at the shooting guard spot, I was really happy. I made sure that I got myself a bit of extra Anthony Edwards. I tried to talk him up a little bit. Ended up being the very key shooting guard piece. I didn't have nearly enough, but I did have 10%, so I'll take it. Van Vliet, I bumped up a little bit later in the day. He became pretty popular, or became pretty essential when he got to 50 with Lowry out. Lou Dort and Gary Trent, Harden and Dort, rather, were the two other pieces you needed at shooting guard. So they were the four main guys. Shout out to my man Dort, 36.7 fantasy points. Had to have those four shooting guards to have any chance. I did actually have quite a bit of those guys. So shooting guard went really well for me, but small forward was a tire fire. Center was really bad. Center was my biggest issue. Just when you only have two guys possible, and I was trying to be a little bit lighter on Jokic, I didn't get to Robert Williams. I was basically priced out of everything possible. So that'll do it. Arthur Aguilera. Me and my buddy went half on a 150 lineups, and we hit first place on the main slate, 101,000 in total winnings. I just want to say that thank you guys so much. You're the best daily content. Y'all are truly the best. Literally changed our life. Arthur, that is sick, man. Congratulations. Hundy spot, $100,000 yesterday because you guys chopped up 150, you and your buddy. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Buy something stupid. Not like for the whole, well, in your case, 50K, but like treat yourself a little bit and then pay off some debts. That's the inner finance guy in me. Pay down debts, invest in, most people would say Top Shot if you were getting this video in this industry, but honestly, Arthur, that is awesome, man. Congratulations. That is really, truly sick. So that's I'm going to try to touch on this little quick recap every day, just looking at the guys that hit value. So really quick way to see who is really essential for a slate. Salary divided by 1,000 times 3.5 plus 22. The difference between your fantasy points and that number is going to let you know how close you were to getting to the promised land. Alrighty, well, I have randomly talked for long enough now. I think it is time for us to dive in. So one last call for you guys to hit the like as we get started. 10 games to get through. Buckle up. We're probably going to be here for, I don't know, hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, something along those lines. I've already grabbed salary files and updated my data, grabbed all of the betting lines from OddsShopper. Go to oddshopper.awesemo.com if you want to get all the data. See, you can do all this good stuff. Oh, you want to bet on the Rockets? You can check out all these Rockets lines. You can go directly to the bet if you want. Change your wager size, all that good stuff. So go check out OddsShopper. Time Lord crushed. Yeah, yes, he did. I mean, the real problem at center was that no one else had a pulse. It was Time Lord and Jokic and nobody else. That's a real problem. All right, so we're diving in first to the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks taking on Boston. Still no Hunter, no Bogdanovich, no Dunn, no Rondo, Tony Snell questionable. Does not matter. Man, Arthur, you're really starting off my day the right way, man. That is a really, really awesome win. 100K, man. Really jelly. Really jelly. Hey, by the way, Arthur, if you're listening, if you guys happen, I don't know if you do or not, if you happen to have the Awesemo logo up on FanDuel, tweet it at us. We can get that out into the Awesemo Hall of Fame. Okay, so Atlanta, I don't get the sense that I'm going to have to change too much here, which is a pretty nice start. You know, Trae Young at 36 minutes, that seems like where we're going to be. Kevin Huerter, 36 minutes, yes. John Collins, 35 minutes, seems pretty okay to me. I actually feel like I probably need to bring that down one. Our Time Lord is Robert Williams. Okay, so Skylar Mays has just been like playing. So 16 minutes in there for Skylar Mays. How do I get Solomon Hill more minutes? Who do I have over projected? Probably Gallo. So we'll take one there. Bruno Fernando? Yep. There we go. That's easy then. We'll leave those two on here as spillover. We'll get Solomon Hill to 18. And done. Josh, what's the difference between usage and points per minute? They are not the same thing at all. So points per minute is going to be the amount of fantasy points you score on a per minute basis. So if you score 30 fantasy points in 30 minutes, you are a 1 fantasy point per minute guy. Usage rate is going to be the amount of possessions that end in something that you did. There are different calculations for this depending on the website. For my sake, I use the basketball reference version of this calculation, which is shot attempts, assists. I'm going to whiff on this. It's going to be easier for me to just pull it up. I want to make sure I have the right formula. Usage rate basketball reference. Because some places add in assists and I don't. So field goal attempts, free throw attempts, turnovers, the plays that you impact directly. So if you're either taking a shot or coughing up that ball, that is going to correspond to your usage rate. It's the amount of possessions you use while you're on the floor. What's the best way to deal with different variations of names in Excel? Okay, this is not going to become my office hours. That's tomorrow, but I can hit on this one pretty easily. You build the names table. So I have, you can see it on the screen. All of the names that I use by default are basketball references names. That's where I pull my data from. So that is my baseline. I use that for everything. I convert everybody to that name. So I put all those names down the left-hand side in a column. Then I create a column for DraftKings. I create a column for FanDuel, for Fantasy Cruncher, for Cleaning the Glass, for anything that I could want to get to, Basketball Monster, whatever. I create an additional column for those pieces. And I put that version of the name in that column. So Frank Mason is Frank Mason on Basketball Reference. He's Frank Mason the third on DraftKings. Then, anytime I'm dealing with DraftKings data, I could look up the DraftKings name in this table and pull my Basketball Reference name. If I'm in a FanDuel piece of data, I could look up the FanDuel name to the Basketball Reference name. It's not fun. It takes a little bit to get set up, but once you have it set up, it's very easy to deal with. Caleb Arthur, another super chat. Unparalleled insights right here. Much appreciated. I don't know what A means. Kind of crazy Australian money you're giving me here, man, but I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm happy to have you guys here. Let's get back into Atlanta before I answer 6 million questions, and we're here until the strategy show starts. Yes, FanDuel allows you to use Swaptimizer after lock. Brock Smith. And Eric, yeah, I mean, I'll be showing the Wowie queries the entire time, so that'll be on the screen. I don't really see anything that I need to change elsewhere for Atlanta. Maybe an extra minute to Cam Reddish, but even 29 feels about right. Capella's minutes feel about right. Any live before lock for me today? Unfortunately, yes. I will be on live before lock today and the strategy show, so I'm pulling the all dayer. Not ideal, but It's fun. All right, I shouldn't have to change any rates. I didn't take anybody off the floor. These rates should be steady from previously. So if I look at Atlanta now, Trae Young looking okay on FanDuel, 9,500. John Collins, 7,100. Capella and Herter both fine. But remember, this is a 10-game slate. So to be a good play, you really need to separate yourself from the pack. This is mostly going to be Trae Young and John Collins for me. Little bit of Capella though is okay. Nothing too crazy, but Trae Young and John Collins are the guys that I like the most. Let's see what else we have. I didn't see much of Kylian Mbappe putting the smack on Barcelona until it was over because I was watching the Liverpool game and they were playing at the same time. I enjoy it if it means that Kylian Mbappe somehow sneaks his way to Liverpool. That is a mild rumor that I would like to really happen. Coffee of choice, hydroxycut water, and weight training. Yeah, not me. Arthur, awesome, man. Either way, that's fine. We're all happy for you one way or the other. Where are your top 10 videos? No longer on YouTube? Same place they've always been, every single day, Monday through Friday. Josh, why do you need to take Saturdays off? So that my wife doesn't leave me. I prefer full slates to showdowns. NFL showdown I prefer, though. All right, on to Boston, which I assume is going to be a mess. All right, so Kemba, doubtful. Not going to play on the back-to-back. No Smart. Tice, Q-Tag. What is Tice's issue again? Knee? Index finger. Okay, I'm just going to assume that Daniel Tice is playing today. So I'm going to gut this entire rotation since Kemba is going to be out as well. So we've had Kemba out mildly regularly as of late. We should be able to figure this out pretty quickly. So in that last game, Pritchard got the start, right? When was that game? My birthday. Okay, so the 12th. But I think that I'm going to have enough time this afternoon to get some light background music set up to play during the show to mildly help out the awkward silence when I'm not talking. All right, so yeah, Pritchard started and closed, semi-started, and never saw the floor again after his third rotation. Good to know. So, have to assume that Peyton Pritchard is going to start and play once again. I'm going to give him 29 minutes. I'll just lock Tyson for his normal minutes. So we'll give him 28. We'll give Tristan Thompson his sort of normal 20. We'll give Time Lord his normal, 12. Which means that I take 12 from Tice, move them to the 4. Nope, that should be 16. No, I mean, the Time Lord game last night was like a very much a dream scenario. So I wouldn't sweat that one too much. Man, 130 people in here already. That's kind of wild. It's 6:47 a.m. The buzz is real, people. The buzz is real. Okay, next up, Semi is just playing right now. He is just a full member of this rotation. So I'm gonna give him 29 minutes. We're gonna give Jason Tatum his typical 36. We're gonna give Jaylen Brown his typical 36. Both of those things are very, very easy. I need to move some of these minutes. I'm just going to move Semi straight to the 3. Okay, so that's perfect right now. A lot of guard minutes to go around yet for this team. So we need to get Aaron Nesmith minutes. He's played 29 and 24 in his last 2. I don't think that 24 is going to be some sort of long-term goal. Did Teague and Pritchard split minutes? 50.8. So they did play alongside each other. which is interesting to note. I'm just going to give Teague the backup minutes there. I'm going to give Aaron Nesmith 25 minutes. And then I have 6 left over, which I guess just immediately go to Javonte Green. But I didn't project Grant Williams either. Grant Williams got the... Wow. Okay, so I didn't even see this from yesterday. Grant Williams didn't play. Huh. That is not something I expected. Grant Williams got the straight DNP CD yesterday. I did not know that. All right, Javonte Green gets 6 minutes, and then I'm going to call it a day. Ooh. No ownership at this time of the day. Not out yet. All right, so on to Boston. We need to grab rates with Kemba off the floor. And I guess Grant Williams. But bump. All right, no Marcus Smart. And yeah, so what I'm doing to query Wowie is just simply taking off the guys that I know aren't going to be there. So I'm taking off Marcus Smart. I'm taking off Kemba Walker. And that'll basically be the extent of it. I like to take off some of the stragglers at the bottom too that also aren't going to play. So like I'm going to take off Tremont Waters because I don't want to cloud the usage until I get to too low of a minutes thing. Like I will leave some guys on. Like I'll leave Grant Williams on because he might play, but I know that Carson Edwards and Tremont Waters aren't playing unless it's garbage time. And then we'll take off Taco. Am I going to do this for MLB? Yes, I just don't know if it's going to be the same sort of vibe of a show. So we'll see. I might have to change up my like build process in the morning. Otherwise, it's just me like filling out a spreadsheet. I don't have, there's no like manual process to baseball for me. Eric, I'm only using this season right now. It's generally enough for me. All right, so let's fill in these rates. So we'll start on the Blues. Daniel Tice, 17.7% usage rate in 135 minutes. That is significantly higher than my baselines for him. So I'm just going to lock him in at 16. Jaylen Brown has been at 32% usage. We'll go to 31. Jason Tatum has been at 34% usage. We'll go to 33. Peyton Pritchard becomes a Blue. That makes him at 18% usage. Have him in at 16, so we'll make that 17. Does he see a assist rate bump? Not really. So now we go to Jeff Teague. Teague 17.5. We'll make it 18. Semi Ojeleye 14. We'll make that 13. And then Tristan Thompson 15.4. Spot on. Yeah, man. Teo Maledon getting ruled in really just nerfed that Oklahoma City fun quite a bit. That was not fun. Yeah, Michael Porter Jr., though. I mean, that one was... I don't know. I mean, Jokic just went absolutely crazy in the first half. And it's kind of tough for everybody. Murray was able to get through it a little bit, but those turnovers hurt. All right, so that's everybody for Boston. I don't really see the need to be changing any other major rates. I guess I should look at assist rate since Kemba's off. So Jaylen Brown's assist rate is usually pretty low, but that doesn't really go anywhere. Neither does Tatum. Does Teague go up? Actually, Tatum's does go up. I'll bump that to 6.5. That should be fine. Josh Bin pushing Horford. Yeah, I mean, I was pushing Horford before the Maledon news. Look, I still liked Horford. I still had him as a pretty highly owned center option yesterday, but his real appeal was nerfed quite a bit when Maledon got put in. All right, on to Boston. So Boston, Tatum at the top, 9,400 on FanDuel, 8,700 on DraftKings. He's an incredible play on DraftKings today. 8,700 for Jason Tatum. You should be trying to get to a lot against Atlanta. Jaylen Brown is like a step down from there. And then Peyton Pritchard, 3,900 on FanDuel, 4,200 on DraftKings. Going to be pretty popular in the start as long as he's starting for Kemba. But Tatum on DraftKings is the first like really legitimate play we've got coming out so far. Yeah, MPJ was rough, man. That one stung. To be fair, I don't think it's just Malone that doesn't like Michael Porter Jr. I think it's the entire team. All right, Chicago at Detroit. So this is the game that wasn't actually on the schedule yesterday, and now it is. So we'll start on the Bulls side. What is the note on Zach LaVine? What's up with LaVine? Nothing, I guess. I don't know. No Markkanen, no Porter, no Hutch. We know what's going on here for Chicago. We just need to make sure we get the minutes right. Yeah, David Broom. I don't know. There's no such thing as a lock on a 10-game slate, but Jason Tatum is quite clearly the top play that I've seen so far. We'll sum it all up at the end. Kobe White needs to be at 33 minutes. I agree with that assessment. Figure out where I can get that minute from. How about this? We'll do 15, 11, take that to 33. Take one away. So Kobe White at 33 minutes. Zach LaVine at 36 minutes. Fine. Patrick Williams is 33 minutes. Why did he play 26 and a half? That is what a rotation will look like. We need to find out if he just didn't close or something. Where the hell is Chicago? All right, so Patrick Williams. Oh, overtime in the last one. That makes sense. So LaVine at 33, that's fine. Kobe White, fine. Patrick Williams got 26 minutes in regulation, but didn't close. Fourth quarter closing lineup and OT. Valentine, Thad, Temple, Kobe White, Zach LaVine. That is important information. That is very important information. If Patrick Williams isn't closing, he is not playing 33 minutes. The question is that normal? And I'm going to assume that it is. So I'm going to pull Patrick Williams down to 28 minutes just to keep in the opportunity for him to close. Because if they're going to switch to Denzel Valentine in this scenario, I think that's important. So I'm going to bump up Denzel Valentine from 22 minutes to 24, I guess. Wendell Carter Jr. played 21 minutes in his return. I think 22 seems fine there. Thad Young played about 24 minutes, so 26 looks fine. Garrett Temple playing 29 minutes. He played 33 in regulation. I'm going to give him actually an additional minute. I only have 2 remaining minutes left over. I don't have much I want to change here. Sato played 21. That looks fine. Archie played 4. Luke the Unicornet. He's going to get 2 spillovers. So there we go. Rates shouldn't need to change. These are all going to be steady from where I had them before, which means we could look at Chicago. Bulls, Zach LaVine, Kobe White, and nothing else. There's not much to like from Chicago. Not going to be a spot that I'm getting a lot of. So, there we go. That's pretty easy to analyze. I'm going to be lighter on Patrick Williams. I'm probably going to need to be a little bit heavier on Thad, but that's fine. I don't see much to get to from Chicago other than the guards. Bang. On to the 4th team. Picking up a little bit of steam here, folks. 142 people, 76 likes. That's almost a good ratio. All right, on to Denver, which I assume is going to be just an absolute mess since they are playing on the back-to-back and were shorthanded yesterday. Q tag on Gary Harris, Q tag on Will Barton, Q tag on Millsap, Monty Morris, PJ Dozier. Oh, I don't think that those Q tags are real. I think that's just carryover from yesterday, since they don't have to submit an injury report until today at 1:30. So we won't really know anything about Denver until 1:30. Let's see. Oh, yeah, they're on the back-to-back, so there won't be a shoot-around. This, I might not even really... All right, PJ Dozier's not going to play. That I can be confident of. I assume Morris plays. I'm gonna assume that Will Barton doesn't play either. So I'm gonna assume that we don't get Gary Harris, we don't get Will Barton, we don't get PJ Dozier, but we do get Monty Morris back. It doesn't really matter what I'm doing right now, and there's not much else that we can look into. They have 5 different guys that are potential to play today, and I have no confidence in sifting through that on a team that doesn't have to put that information into an injury report until later today and won't have a shoot around. It's just an impossibility for me. I'm gonna also assume that Millsap doesn't play. So all I have to do is just move Monty Morris back in and get some of those minutes off of whatever ended up happening for Denver. Wow, Facundo Campazzo played 39 minutes last night. I didn't even realize that, and I watched part of that game. That is nuts. That is truly nuts. All right, so clearly Bol is not seeing the floor. Sorry to the gentleman that was intimate with Bol yesterday. All right, let's take those minutes from. So Marcus Howard did play. Shouts to me. I had that one in there pretty early. Let's take Vlatko Kankar's minutes. We'll take RJ Hampton's minutes off. We'll take Zeke Najee's minutes off. Let's just take everybody off. All right. So Jamal Murray, 35 minutes. Jokic, 37 minutes. I think both of those look fine. Backup center. All right. Washington. I don't think that it's going to be Hartenstein. So well, if there's no Millsap, that changes things a little bit. Let's give Hartenstein the backup center minutes. Who actually did play backup center last night? See, this is a trickle down of stuff that we need to look at. Oh, I will absolutely be going back to Michael Porter Jr. today. There's very little doubt. Other than the fact that he didn't close, which I do think is important, or didn't look like he was even going to close. That'll be interesting to see. So when Jokic came off the floor here, Hartenstein did play straight backup center. That is excellent. That makes life so much easier. So then JaMychal Green is playing at the straight up 4 spot. Which means, ooh, why is my screen so bright now? Oh, 701. Wow. Didn't realize it was 701. The nightshade thing turned off on my screen. Now everything is ultra bright in my eyes. All right, so JaMychal Green played 28 minutes last night. That seems just like what I should give him for today as well, which allows me to give 20 minutes to Zeke Naji. And then Facundo gets the backup point guard minutes at 13. I assume that his minutes will come back down with Monty Morris being back, and that Monty Morris will play big run. A little nervous about it, so I'll give Morris 28, and I'll get Campazzo to 24. And then who am I missing that should get a lot of minutes? Oh, MPJ. All right. I think 30 is a realistic number, so we'll give him 18 there. Or 30 there. I'll give 18 to RJ Hampton with another 2. That gives me 7 left over. This is all going to be spillover minutes. And I'm not entirely confident where any of those minutes need to go. I'll give one additional minute to Campazzo. And then I'm just going to assume that someone else sees it. Actually, I can give 2 additional minutes to Naji. And then I'm just going to throw 4 minutes to Howard as a spillover. And let's pull some NBA Wowie data on the Nugs, which is going to be quite limited. But they're playing Washington, so this is incredibly important. Very important. All right, so we need to take off Will Barton and Gary Harris and Paul Millsap. Not only is Josh doing a 7 a.m. show, Josh is doing a 6:30 a.m. show. This is the place to be in the mornings, guys. There's no doubt about it at this point. And we'll take Dozier off. I'm just going to assume that the rest of that is fine. So let's run through the blues. Facundo Campazzo, 16% usage. Bingo. Assist rate bump. Jamal Murray, 31% usage in 92 minutes in this scenario. I don't think that that is a very realistic situation for me. But at the same time, I kind of need to do it. Josh never sleeps. Josh got, I'm going to tell you exactly how much I slept last night. I got 7 hours and 7 minutes of sleep. I went to bed at 10:09. I woke up at 5:16. There you go. All right, there's no way I can give Jamal Murray a 31% usage rate in this game, or I'm going to have 8 million shares. So I will bump it up, though. Give him 26. Assist rate is also up in those scenarios. Man, I don't understand that. Jermichael Green, 15.5. We'll stick at 16. MPJ, 20.5. So we'll stick at 21. Is his rebounding rate down? Can I do anything to discount him? No, it's higher than I would expect. Great. Monty Morris at 19, 18.5. Joker is going to need a full change. We'll call that 31.5, 10.9, and 11.5. Bring the rebounding rate down just a hair. And then that should be good. Let's look at Denver. Morning, Tony. Happy to have you guys here. Opinion on rostering 3 Denver players on a 10-game slate. I'm sure it's fine. Good morning to everybody. I think we're slowly getting that trickle. I'm already into my coffee, so if you guys haven't had any yet, cheers. Get yourself a sip. Moko, happy to have you here, man. It's awesome. All right, so for Denver, just an absolute ton of Jokic. $6,500 Murray on FanDuel looks amazing. Michael Porter Jr., though, we're running it back. $5,500 on FanDuel once again. An absolute play. I'm going to have a ton. I'm going straight back to Michael Porter Jr. once again, so long as he starts. Campazzo, $3,500 still on FanDuel. 3,500 on DraftKings, a decent value. If Monty Morris is out, you definitely want to have a ton of it. Monty Morris also looks okay, 4,100 and 4,600. Way more 4,100 though. What kind of maniac drinks out of a travel mug at his desk? I don't think Yeti's making travel mugs any longer, man. These are just mugs. Yeah, you got to go right back to Jokic, Murray, and Porter though. By far. Jokic and Murray, though, on a very different island as far as I'm concerned. You guys can't care about what happened last night. Promise you this. Ooh, on to the Pistons. I don't know why I said that in a French accent. Doesn't make much sense to me at all. All right, so this is the other half of this game that wasn't really a game. Obviously, Blake's not playing, and then we get into a bunch of Q tags on all the goons at the bottom. I'm just going to gut this rotation because I feel like I haven't put my hands on the Detroit team in a while. So, at the point guard spot, this one's easy. DeLon Wright plays a ton, 34 minutes. Dennis Smith Jr. is the direct backup, 14 minutes. Mason Plumlee's center minutes. He's been playing 30. Well, he played 30. Is that refreshed? Have they really not played 3 days? Yeah, I guess not. 30 minutes for Mason Plumlee. Seems fine. Been playing a little bit more as of late. Isaiah Stewart, straight backup, 18. So then we're good to go there. Paul Gobble, congrats on the double, man. Any profit is good profit. Any profit is good profit. All right, so 2, 3, 4. The rest of this should get pretty easy. Let's just give Jeremy Grant 36 minutes right now. Make it even easier. Wayne Ellington's been playing about 20 minutes. So I'm just going to give him 20. Josh Jackson should have been playing more than 20 minutes. That has been 27 as of late. I think that seems fine. Let's go 27-21 for Jackson and Wayne. And then I guess it's just going to be like 600 minutes to Sadiq Bey. Sadiq Bey played 38 the last time out, 27 the game before that. So I think like 30 feels pretty reasonable here. Gonna have to move half of Jeremy Grant's minutes to the 4. Still have a bunch to go. Svi Mikhailuk playing 24 minutes a game, so let's get those in there. Honestly, I just need to make Jeremy Grant the straight 4 now. Means I have 6 minutes left over for this team. Not a natural spot for them to land either. Josh, am I off the Grant train for now? We'll find out in a couple seconds when I adjust these rates and take a look. Just gonna give them the Sekou for right now as a spillover. We'll see where we end up. But let's grab these new Pistons rates. Sans Blake Griffin. Yeah, Richard. Pistons Mavs is postponed, but it's now the Pistons are playing the Bulls today. It's kind of weird. It's actually way more than kind of weird. Yeah, Middleton was really bad yesterday. One of the worst plays on the slate, which is a shame because I had a bunch. Alrighty. Let's take Jahlil Okafor off. I don't get the sense that he's going to be seeing the floor today. I'll probably regret that statement. Get Saban Lee out of there. Get Frank Jackson out of there. 178 people, 102 likes. We crossed that 100 like barrier. You guys are the best. Take McGrudes off too. Oh yeah, I got to take Derrick Rose off. Man, this Pistons team has played a lot of dudes this year. All right, here we go. Rates. Let's do this. DeLon Wright in 247 minutes. Basically a 20% usage rate. I don't want to trust it too much, so we'll go to 19. Also a monstrous assist rate. I'm going to go to 9 there. I like it. He's going to project really well, huh? 0.96. Yeah, that'll work. I like it. Morning bong rips and coffee. Better you than me, man. That would ruin my day. All right, Jeremy Grant, 27.5% usage over 241 minutes in this breakdown. I'm just going to give him 26. His assist rate is up to 5%, so we'll go to 4.5. And then rebounding rate, is he doing anything more there? 6.8. We'll make it 6. So it's still going to be Jeremy Grant season today. Josh Jackson, 27% usage in 145 minutes in this sample. Happily go to 26. Mason Plumlee is at 21% usage. I don't expect that to continue, but I will give him 19.5. 8% assist rate. I will bump that. I think I'm going to get a lot of Pistons. This is scary. 17% on Sadiq Bey. So 17.5 works. Svi Mikhailuk, 18% usage. We can stick at 18. I'm really nervous to see how much I'm going to like the Pistons here. This could be a problem. Yeah, so I'm going to be heavier on DeLon Wright than most of the people. I think Jeremy Grant and DeLon Wright both look fantastic. Jeremy Grant, 7,200 on FanDuel, 7,600 on DraftKings. He is a very solid option, a guy that I'll probably have about 20% of today. DeLon Wright, 7K on FanDuel, 6K on DraftKings. DeLon Wright looking really, really good at 6K on DK. Very good. He's going to be a very key DraftKings piece today. That's what happens when you play the Bulls. Josh, is this your primary job? I retire in 5 years thinking about getting into DFS full-time. Working for Awesemo is my full-time job. Playing DFS is a hobby. Not a ton of interest in Josh Jackson. He's fine. He's a guy that you would get to. I like him more on FanDuel at 5,700 than 6,300 on DK. All right, on to Golden State, Where are we at now? How many teams is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so team 6. We're moving along at a decent rate. We should be out of here around 8 o'clock. Whew. All right, Warriors. No Looney, no Wiseman, no surprises. So this is just going to be their normal rotation. We're going to have very little to change. We might have to dig into Steph and find out why I'm going to project him 10 points lower than everybody else, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I don't really have anything to change here for Golden State. They basically play the same amount of guys, the same amount of time every single game. So, Golden State Warriors. Yep, I'm just wildly low on Steph. I don't have much interest in anything from Golden State. They're taking on the Heat. It's not a very good game. Alex, I'm assuming the Pistons aren't on Fantasy Cruncher right now because they weren't supposed to be. They're playing the Bulls, but they weren't supposed to play the Bulls today. So I'm thinking that everybody's going to have to get their new data from FanDuel and DraftKings. It's just a weird one. They added a game to the NBA slate that wasn't supposed to be there. Yeah, there's just no real way that I'm going to have any interest in Steph Curry, as per usual. I'm fine with it. Yeah, 31% usage rate, 8% assist rate. I have his rates spot on. So I am not going to artificially bump Steph Curry for no reason. That just seems like it's only going to hurt me. He's shooting from 3 this year. 43%. Okay. I will happily bump him up a little bit at 3-point rate. Give him another half point. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm not playing anything from Golden State. Curry is 10K on FanDuel, 10-5 on DraftKings. He's okay-ish. Oubre, Draymond, Wiggins are okay, but they're just not good. Houston. I have no idea what Houston's rotation looks like right now. Cool. This is what you love to see. Oladipo, doubtful. PJ Tucker, questionable. Eric Gordon, doubtful. Is that legit? Are they on the injury report already? All right. Houston's injury report. Well, I'm sure no one can see that. So, where's Houston? Doubtful. Okay, so that's actually really good. Having them be doubtful is helpful. Because now we don't have to guess. So, and we know we don't have Ray Spalding anymore because they cut his ass. So let's do this. I'm starting Houston from scratch just to make sure that we can take into account this last game. The PJ Tucker piece is going to be tricky. Was he listed as questionable? I didn't even see his name. Yep. Oh, that's because it was on the next page. Okay, so PJ Tucker is questionable. Since PJ Tucker doesn't miss basketball games, I'm certainly projecting him in. That was the first game PJ Tucker missed in like 4 years. All right, so John Wall, point guard, 34 minutes. Done. DeMarcus Cousins, center. Okay, let's look at it. Because it was like fouls and stupid stuff, right? We need to look at this last Houston game. All right, so Cousins, quick rotation. They brought Spalding in. Spalding picked up 2 fouls and then came off the floor. Cousins came in and got another full rotation in the second for the rest of that quarter. Only 1 foul, so no issue there. Came back in at the beginning of the third quarter and then just never saw the floor again. But they were getting smiggity smacked. NBA rotations.info. Let's check and see how often Boogie has been playing in the fourth quarter. Paul Gobble saying, or Uriel Ortiz is saying, Boogie never plays the fourth quarter. Well, he might have to. So let's look and see the last time the Boogies played the fourth quarter, because I think that's important. Yeah, Steve, they don't have a choice to go small. They don't have big. All right, so Boogie did not play in the fourth against Washington, played a couple minutes in the fourth against the Knicks on the 13th, played a solid chunk against Miami, nothing against the Pels, nothing against the Hornets. So he's like iffy to get that rotation. Knicks, Miami, San Antonio. Yeah, I think like 24 minutes for Cousins just seems like the right time. Like if the game's competitive, I think he sees some time in the fourth quarter. So 24 minutes for Boogie, which means that I'm going to say that PJ Tucker plays the other 24 and then 6 minutes at power forward. Detroit is going to smash Houston. Well, Houston plays Philly, so there's that. All right, Daniel House played 36 minutes. I'm giving him 32. Jayshawn Tate's going to get 32. Mason Jones at backup point seems fine. Sterling Brown played 25 minutes, but he needed every bit of that end of that game run because he wasn't getting it. So let's give David Nwaba these minutes first. He played 41 minutes. That worked out so well for me, and I totally wasted it. Ugh, regret. Regerts, man. Major regerts. Okay, so I have to give minutes to Ben McLemore and Sterling Brown. I'm going to give 25 to Sterling Brown. And I'm going to give 17 to McLemore. And that's just going to be Houston. And I don't really think that I need to change these rates for Houston, but it's probably in my best interest. Although, really, all we're doing is adding PJ Tucker and his 11% usage rate. How does this look for Houston? Yeah, early foul trouble is quite a problem back in the day. Or, yeah, back in the day, at the beginning of games. So, if we're looking at Houston now, I'm probably a little heavier on David Nwaba than most people, but I'm okay with that. John Wall is the key piece here. John Wall at 7,800 on DraftKings is looking like a very high-end play. I like David Nwaba. I feel like I like David Nwaba too much. So let's just walk that back a little bit. But if he's playing 32 minutes, I don't really see a reason not to. Jayshawn Tate looks okay. Not too much else coming out of Houston. It's not Boogie Day with any sort of aggression, at least not to me. 6,100 on FanDuel, 6,500 on DraftKings. Just a guy you want to have like 5 to 10% of. The Mad Bowler. Would you go as many as 4 Rockets in cash games? I wouldn't go more than 1 Rocket in a cash game today. It's a 10-game slate, and there's no way that there are 4 legitimate Rockets. If PJ Tucker ends up out, that'll change a little bit. It'll probably look like maybe 3, but you're not getting to 4 of any team today. Not on a 10-gamer. 210 viewers, 124 likes. So for the chunk of people that have just been showing up over this past 20 minutes or so, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. It would help me out a ton. All right, let's save this workbook before I ruin it. Yeah, PJ Tucker has been not ideal this season, unfortunately. I am a big time PJ Tucker believer, but the advanced stats are not advantageous. Who's my next best Rocket after Nwaba? So it's Wall, Nwaba, probably Jayshawn Tate. Like, how bad has PJ Tucker been this year? Yeah, PJ Tucker he's been the worst Rocket, and that is not like that's pretty surprising to me. He's a guy that just got it done. Yeah, I mean Tucker was good for ever. I think he's finally falling off the cliff now at 35. This is his worst season by far. It's actually been worth negative 0.3 of a win after multiple 3 and 4 win seasons. Sad, man. Sad. Okay, on to the next team. Alex. So this is just me going through rotations and the build for everything. In terms of exposures and randomness, like a lot of that stuff is largely meaningless. My exposure percentages, I set basically just so Fantasy Cruncher gives me a decent spread of lineups. I handle all the rest of my stuff on the back end. Randomness to me is largely meaningless. You could kind of set it to whatever you want, and whatever works for you is the right setting. I think I think Tucker's just old. The athleticism has waned so much that he can't compete defensively. All right. For the Clippers, I know they've got a lot of nonsense going on, so let's go ahead and deal with them right now. Patrick Beverly in, George out, Batum out, Kawhi questionable. Do we know anything more about Kawhi for tonight? Upgraded to questionable. So I'm just going to assume he's playing. Dope. And with Bev back, that makes this even easier. All right. So last time that Patrick Beverly played was here. Last time that Kawhi played was here. And that one. So we don't really have a good sample of this team without George and Batum. So that's going to be a fun one. Let's get Beverly straightened out. He's going to play 20 minutes. I can't really see him playing much more or less than that. We saw Zubac get the big minutes bump. I don't get the sense that that is going to be some sort of new thing for him. So I'm going to go to 18 minutes on Zubac. I'm going to go, Ibaka played less minutes, but he had been playing less minutes. So I'm going to call that one 24, which leaves 6 minutes left over for what I imagine is Marcus Morris. Who is the center if it's not Zubac or Ibaka? Do I play season-long fantasy? No. Am I a Knicks fan like my dad? My dad is not a Knicks fan. I guess my dad is probably a Sixers fan, but I don't think my dad cares too much about NBA fandom. At least he hasn't for a while. Was a big Barkley guy back in the day. Was a big Dr. J guy back in the day. Just really weird that my dad would have liked the Sixers. I guess it must have just been Barkley, because my dad hates the Eagles and the Phillies. Okay, so if we take Zubac off and we take Ibaka off, who is the classified center? Okay, it's Morris. Perfect. So then we'll give Marcus Morris 6 minutes at the 5, and I don't know, he's probably going to play like 26 minutes. That dude doesn't play more or less minutes ever. Amir Coffey played 32 minutes? That's hysterical. I'm not a college basketball fan. I used to be a very, very, very dedicated college basketball fan. I just stopped. I got way more into the NBA. It got really hard for me to watch the college product. It's really bad, but I was a pretty big Duke fan. All right, so backup point guard is just going to be Reggie Jackson, I assume. When Beverly was back, Reggie Jackson's minutes became pretty minimal. in comparison. So we'll give Reggie Jackson 26. We'll give Terrence Mann 24. Which puts Lou Will at 26, but I think his minutes are just going to be different now. So we'll get him to 28. I need to get Kawhi Leonard 34 minutes, I guess. Oh, yeah. You guys are talking about Terry being my dad, not my actual dad in this case. Fair enough. I missed that one. Ah, damn, I still got to give Luke Kennard minutes. Okay, so Kawhi is just playing straight here. 28, 6. Keep losing my process in my mind right now. All right, so Kennard has played significantly more minutes. Now with no Batum, no George, I think those minutes are going to largely stick around. So I'm going to give him 24, which leaves just Coffee. There's no way they're going to play Amir Coffee 16 minutes today. That would be nuts. Someone else is going to get the run. Why did Amir Coffee play so much on the 15th? That makes no sense to me. Where are the Clippers at? So Amir Coffee played, he came in his rotation at the end of the first quarter, played the entire second quarter. Oh, okay. So they went on a monster 20-4 run while he was out there. When Amir Coffee checked in, see if we can grab this. So in that run, Amir Coffee, well, I could have just did this. He was +7. They went on a 20-4 run. That's big. Then they brought him back in his normal run at the end, and he played most of the fourth quarter. And at that point in time, things were going well again. Yeah, he's not getting that run. So I think 16 minutes is fine. That all makes sense. Now we got to change rates because this is like a completely different team than what played a couple days ago. 234 people. Guys, what are you crazy people doing here hanging out with me at 7:30 in the morning? Oh, we are way behind too, by the way. We're going to be here till 8 o'clock easy, which is not ideal for me. But it'll be fine. Strategy show with Laffy today at 10 if you guys want to watch. Oh, I dropped some frames earlier. That's scary. All right, Paul George off. Nick Batum off. This Clippers team is a tricky team to project. Really don't need to make many changes there. So we'll get Kawhi's rates to start. Oh, I'm on shooting. I was wondering why that looks so weird. All right, Kawhi usage rate with none of these guys, 29%. I'm just letting him stick at his normal spot. Usage assist rate go up? No, he's just kind of himself. All right, Zubac 16.2, fine. Lou Will, I assume he's got a usage bump. Call that 28. Luke Kennard 16. All right, so these usage rates are basically just set in stone. Reggie Jackson, Serge Ibaka, Terrence Mann. Let's see what the Clippers look like. All right, so on the Clippers side, a little lighter on Kawhi than I would have expected, but that's fine. He's the only relevant player on the Clippers today. I wouldn't roster a single Clipper. So just putting that out there. That's what happens when you play the Jazz. And everybody's priced appropriately. Keep your eye on the Clippers, though. If Kawhi gets ruled out, there's going to be a ton of value there. On to Memphis. Memphis, OKC. Anything that we need to care about from Memphis? Jaren Jackson Jr. obviously out. Ooh, Melton and Bain, both questionable. That is all sorts of annoying. Are they legit questionable? Oh, they're on the back-to-back, so maybe, maybe not. Melton. Okay, I'm leaving both of those guys out for right now. If they need to go back in, that's fine. Which means that we shouldn't have too much that we need to change here, although Memphis is kind of wacky. Gorgeous Dong got back into the rotation, played 5 minutes last night. John Conchar playing more minutes. That's fun. So Morant fine there. I'm going to have to get John Conchar more minutes, so I need to figure out who's not getting those minutes. Joval fine. Brandon Clark fine. Tillman fine. Guess I could take 1 minute there from Kyle Anderson. I can take 2 minutes from Grayson Allen. Who the hell is not playing? I mean, I guess Brandon Clark playing 16 minutes is not ideal. How do I give these guys more minutes? Where am I off? How is Sean McDermott and John Conchar playing so much? I guess I don't really, it's not really that huge of a deal. What does Memphis look like for today? So Ja looks good. 7,100 on FanDuel. That's a perfectly reasonable play. Joval for 7,800 and 7,300, both fine. A little bit of Dylan Brooks, fine. Not too much going on for Memphis today. I would have thought I would have liked them a little bit more, but their minutes are sort of wacky. Everybody's starting to flatten out, so I think they're a little overpriced. Let's keep it moving now. On to the second half, on to Miami. 7:35. Thank you for being here for a full hour at this point, guys. Weird. All right, Miami. I'm assuming everybody's just here and ready, right? No Dragic, no Bradley, Gabe Vincent available. Yeah, okay, so we don't have anything new for Miami. Most of this rotation should look fine. Kendrick Nunn did see his minutes get reduced a little bit. Duncan Robinson got back up to where he should be. Mo Harkless got dusted off as well. So I don't know who was. Oh, because Kelly Olynyk played 14 minutes instead of 28. Obviously. What else would it have been? All right, so give Kelly Olynyk those minutes. I'm going to take Kendrick Nunn down to 30. I'm going to take those 2 Gabe Vincent minutes. And now I have 9 minutes to figure out who the hell else is going to play, which I think is just going to go to Mo Harkless. Easy. 11 on Precious is fine. 30 is fine. 34 here. I guess I could probably give Butler more time, but I don't know if that's really what I should be doing. I'll take 1 from Iguodala and give it to Butler. All right. Miami. Bam Adebayo, 9,100 on FanDuel looks good. 8,600 on DraftKings looks better. Butler looks better on DK at 8,800 compared to 9,400. You probably won't be getting to much Jimmy Butler on FanDuel. Hero and Nunn would be the other 2 guys that are available for me for Miami. Not much else to speak of. Alrighty, on to Minnesota. Even though I don't like him at all, sucks to see D'Angelo Russell have to get some surgery, but maybe that's what's been slowing him down because he has not been good this year at all. Minnesota should have the same sort of rotation today. Interested to see if Towns plays. Shouldn't have to make many changes here. Probably going to be advocating for Anthony Edwards and or Malik Beasley again, so let's see. Okogie minutes are fine. Jordan McLaughlin's minutes are fine. Vanderbilt played 29, which is scary. I had a ton of Jared Vanderbilt, and he played 29 minutes last night, and he still wasn't as good as I wanted. Good God, that sucks. Oh, if I would have known he played 29 minutes, I probably would have had way more Vanderbilt. Yeah, this could all just stick. I liked where I was for Minnesota yesterday. So on the Minnesota side, Towns 9,300 on both sites. Happy to have a little bit. Beasley 6,900 on FanDuel, 7,100 on DraftKings. He would be my second favorite play. Edwards is 6K on both sites. He's third. Rubio 5,300 on FanDuel. He probably won't get a lot of attention. I'd be happy to go there as well. That'll work. I like that Minnesota run. On to the Pels. Back to back for the Pels. I assume nothing interesting. Q tag on Steven Adams. Is that real? That shouldn't even be a thing. Oh, he left early. Okay. Interesting. So he's not technically questionable. That is fake news because they played last night. There is no injury report, which means that he cannot be questionable. Yeah, Josh Hart. Josh Hart was like the linchpin to an optimal lineup last night. I assume Towns plays on the back to back. He's not nursing an injury. He's nursing his health. So I assume that that's fine. They haven't had a back to back since he's been back. They played the 10th, the 12th, the 14th, and the 16th. So I'm going to assume that Towns is just in. But man, if Steven Adams gets ruled out, Willie Hernangomez is going to be very, very interesting. Let's take a peek at this. I want to see, when did he come out? In the third quarter? They put up 144 yesterday. Holy hell. That is truly insane. They went on a 24-8 run and a 22-6 run to close that game out. That's nuts. Okay, so Adams left the game in the third. But at that point in time, release. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. He would have never came back in regardless, which is kind of tricky. I don't think Steven Adams is going to play tonight. But I'm not changing any projections now because they played on the back-to-back and we don't have any info. So that'll have to be an update that comes off of the injury report at 1:30. So we'll be paying attention to that news. Josh Hart played 32 minutes last night. I need to give him an extra minute, but who took the haircut? Nickeil Alexander-Walker, once again. But keep your eyes peeled for this one because it might become very important to get Willie Hernangomez and potentially Jackson Hayes. So there's no chance that I'm changing any rates here for the Pels. I shouldn't need to change any minutes. This is all kind of fine. I think that we're good there. So on the New Orleans side, Zion and Brandon Ingram, and that's it. Not hard to know, but Willie Hernangomez is 3,900 on FanDuel and 3,800 on DK. If Steven Adams ultimately gets ruled out and we're projecting Willie Hernangomez for let's just say 24 minutes, he is going to be very important. That's going to be a rate that really pops quite a bit. And then since New Orleans is playing Portland, if Harry Giles is out again, I'm not, when we get there, I'll see. I don't really know how healthy he is. If Harry Giles ends up being out and they're running more Covington at the 5, then I don't know if we see Jackson Hayes. We might just see Zion at the 5. And that really changes the makeup of this team quite a bit. Alrighty. On to the next one. Tony, happy to have you here, man. Dave, you won $1.88 last night. Look, man, every win is a good win, so I'm happy for you. Paul's Place, what do you set as your maximum exposure for any player? 100%. All right, so we're on to the Knicks. Ugh, yucky yuck. Head to the Knicks now. Mitchell Robinson broken hand is all the information we have to worry about. So we just need to take into account what has happened those past 2 days. Julius Randle saw a bit of a minutes bump, went 41 minutes this last time out. Nerlens Noel played 32 and 27. I'm going to make that 29 now. Taj Gibson basically played the backup center minutes. I'm going to give a little bit of it. I'm going to give that extra minute to Randall. Yeah, that makes sense to me. RJ Barrett is back up to 30 minutes again. So let's find out where I need to take those from. Quickly played 21. That's fine at 20. Rose is playing 20 something, so that's fine. Alec Burks is the guy that seems to be taking the biggest haircut. So we'll give those 2 minutes to RJ Barrett. We'll give one of those minutes to RJ Barrett. We'll give the other one to Derrick Rose. Max exposure on anyone. I will never stop anybody from showing up in 100% of my lineups. They probably won't just because of my process, but I would never have to worry about it. Okay. Elf 24. Yeah, I got to take minutes from Elf. That's for sure. 24 here. We'll give another one to Derrick Rose. Is there a spillover guy? Oh yeah. So Austin Rivers is just out of the rotation now, huh? That's insane. Alrighty. Alrighty. What else? That's it for the Knicks. These rates should be fine. So don't play the Knicks today. Knicks Magic. That is a disgusting game. 210 total, which is the lowest on the slate by 12 points. The Knicks are the slowest team in the league by 2 full possessions. Orlando not too far behind either. So this is a slow, low-paced offensive slog. If you want to play Julius Randle, go ahead. You probably don't need anything else. What would you say the average size of your player pool is? I have no idea. I've never looked at my player pool once. Totally meaningless to me. On to Oklahoma City, a team that I'm tired of. How many games does Oklahoma City play? I feel like they're the only team I talk about. All right, so Horford doubtful, back to back. He's been playing back to backs, right? No, he didn't play the back half of 5th and 6th. Interesting. Okay. Can they sit Horford on a back to back? That feels impossible. He did not play the last back to back. Do I project Al Horford out right now? Oh, Shea is questionable too? Is he legit questionable? Yeah, I don't really know how to project this Oklahoma City team, so I think I need to mostly just sit where I was last night until that 130 injury report. If Al Horford ends up out, Isaiah Roby and or Mike Muscala are going to be very, very popular. I'm guessing I don't have too much that I need to adjust here. Justin Jackson's minutes probably need to change pretty aggressively. Kenrich Williams started and barely played. Diallo is the one that got that run. So let's take him back up to 28. Dort's minutes I'm very happy with, but we'll give him 2 more. I can't touch Oklahoma City right now. Not with the Horford news with them on the back-to-back and Shea. I'm just going to hold steady with the guys that were in last night. And if we make changes, we make changes. Because it's going to be too dramatic. There we go. So if it's the same guys as last night, including Horford, we're playing Horford and Dort and Baisley with a little bit of Diallo. But I can't... There's not enough value digging into Oklahoma City right now. Teams that play on a back-to-back will generally not have a shoot-around, and they have no ability. They do not submit injury reports. So Oklahoma City is a blank slate until at least 1:30. And even then, we don't necessarily have to know anything. But the Horford piece will be the big one. That'll really create a trickle down. Bump, 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 bump. All right. On to Orlando, a team that I also hate a lot. 750. We might actually get out of here right around 8 o'clock. That should be good. So for Orlando, no Cole Anthony, no Gordon. Fournier Q tag, James Ennis Q tag, Aminu Q tag. Great. All of that sounds just great. Okay, well, let's figure this one. 235 people in here, 165 likes. We might actually get that number over 200 while we're live. All right, so Fournier hasn't played in forever, which is insane. But got to project him in, got to project Ennis in. So I think that what I have in here right now will be fine outside of Cole Anthony. So let's try to figure this out. We're going to get Michael Carter-Williams playing 29 minutes at the point guard spot. Clearly, we don't have Frank Mason. So is this their legit rotation right now? This plus Ennis, I guess? We might actually see Mo Bamba. All right. 35 minutes for Vooch. We're going to pull Kem Birch's minutes out here and give Mo Bamba a chunk of time. Actually, you know what? I don't even really need to do that. We'll go right, since James Ennis is going to play, or could play, it won't matter. So Kem Birch is going to get 13 here. The backup point guard is basically going to be what? Who actually has an assist rate on this team? It's not going to be Cole Anthony, obviously. I mean, it's Fournier, right? Yeah, it's just Fournier. Okay, so we're going to treat Fournier like he's the backup one. So we'll give him 19 here and 11 here. If he plays, too. That doesn't matter if he does or not. All right, so that's one. We need to get... We've got James Ennis in for 25 minutes. I think that's fine. Gary Clark in for 18. Who the hell knows what Gary Clark is going to do from him? There we go. No. 8. So that's 11 and 12. There we go. And then Terrence Ross at 28 seems fine if these guys are coming back. Yeah, fading this Orlando game should be good so long as everybody doesn't end up out. 8 additional minutes. I think that I just need to give them the Bamba. I don't really know who else should get them. So let's just throw those to Bamba. We are going to have to get new rates, which isn't fun. And I think it's mildly a waste of time right now, but whatever. We don't have anywhere to be. There's no show before or after me. Except my own show. All right, no Cole Anthony. No Markelle Fultz. No Aaron Gordon. I'm just going to let that one hang. That's just going to have to be good. So, Michael Carter Williams in this scenario, 29% usage in 56 minutes with those three guys off. There's clearly no way that I'm projecting Michael Carter Williams for 29% usage, but I will give him a bump. So we'll call it 21. And an assist bump. Vooch. This one I will bump. He's at 30. Call it 30. Fournier. We'll lock him at his 24. James Ennis. 16 and a half. Call it 15 and a half. Kem Birch. This is going to be disgusting when we look at it because of playing the Knicks. Oh my God. Terrence Ross, 27. I don't think any of this is going to matter. All right, Orlando. Vooch and MCW on FanDuel. MCW at 4,400 looks okay. Vooch and MCW on DK, but keep your eyes peeled, guys. We're going to need a lot of news on Orlando. I don't want to go too crazy diving in here. Yeah, that's just going to have to be it. All right, home stretch, guys. Final four teams. We're going to Philly now. Thank you guys for joining me. It's been great having you. Contenders videos will come out maybe after the strategy show. I'm going to try to get them out before I start that show, but it might be a little tough. And then strategy show with Laffy and I. Nothing else for the rest of the day for me until live before lock tonight. Hour and a half show, doing a little bit extra for Super Draft. All right, Philly. Embiid, probable Shake Milton out. So the only thing I need to do is fix the center rotation, I believe. I'm going to have to change all those rates too. So stupid. Stupid Embiid. Embiid getting ruled out late was so annoying. All right, so let's get Embiid back in. 33 minutes for Embiid. 15 minutes for Dwight Howard. I assume I don't have to change much else of anything here. We've got 34 minutes in for Ben Simmons. I got 20 in for the Cork Man, which seems fine. 15 for Thibault. I don't think that matters. All right, let's just grab normal Sixers rates. Sixers with no Shake Milton. Tony, have a good rest of the morning, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. Let's take Isaiah Joe off since he's not going to play and has apparently played a lot. Anybody else I need to remove here? Oh yeah, do I have Mike Scott's minutes correct here? Yeah, I have them correct at 0. Stupid me. Who the hell do I take these minutes from? 13, fine. 36 is fine. 32 is fine. 15 is less than it should be. Those are fine. Those are fine. Oh, I have 12 minutes left over. God, I'm so stupid. Okay, perfect. Let's get these rates in here. Yeah, I want to know what Laffy's story is about this chip. I'm really nervous about it. All right, Ben Simmons, 21% usage, done. Danny Green, 13% usage, done. Joel Embiid, 33.5, done. Seth Curry, 17.2. Man, Sixers are easy to project when everybody's in. And then Dwight. Yeah, I want that Laffy story more than you guys know. All right, Philly. Against the Rockets. Lot to like here. Embiid at the top. Seth Curry second on FanDuel, 4K. He's 4,600 on DraftKings, so he's last for me. Harris and Simmons both look pretty identical. They look like better plays on DK than FanDuel, but be happy to pay up for Embiid today. Especially, Embiid should kill Cousins, and then they don't have anybody else. This should be a smash spot for Joel Embiid. Let's go to Portland. I can't imagine there's much changing here. The only thing we have to worry about is what? Harry Giles. And he's already out. It's a calf strain. Hood is questionable. I'm leaving him out. So I don't have a single change that I really need to make unless there was a crazy minutes difference for Portland last night. Cantor played 33 minutes. If he could have scored a little bit more, because he had a ton of rebounds. Derek Jones Jr. was a nice value. I don't mind any part of that. Anthony Simons played less than I needed him to, so I'm going to have to go ahead and pull that down a little bit. Take that minute from Blevins and give 3 to Ellaby. So I think that everything is just going to hold here for the Pistons, which I'm more than happy with. Which means for the Pistons. Why am I calling the Portland Trailblazers the Pistons? See, that's when you know it's too early, but the problem is I've basically finished my coffee. Okay, so I said it yesterday and I'm going to say it again today. Damian Lillard on FanDuel, going to be one of the better plays of the day. Looks incredible. Looks good for 10-3 on DraftKings, but certainly a little bit worse than the $9,500 price tag. Cantor and Trent, the other two guys that'll get a lot of. Melo, Covington, Derek Jones Jr., all perfectly reasonable value plays. On to Utah now. Utah and the Clippers. Q tag on Conley. Let's see how real that is. I don't think he's playing. Interesting. Upgraded to Q tag. What does Eric Walden have to say? All right. If they're making him questionable this early, he might actually play. So the good news is fixing Utah is one of the easier things in the world to do. Now, I don't think that Mike Conley is just going to come back and play a normal rotation today. I think 28 minutes seems pretty reasonable, but let's just gut this entire team and do the rest of what we need to do. 28 minutes at point guard for Conley, which means 20 here and 14 here for Mitchell, which means Rudy Gobert gets 32. Yeah, that's fine. We give Favors the backup minutes here. Royce O'Neal just continues to play 34 minutes. That seems perfectly fine. Niang plays the other 14. Bojan Bogdanovic, when Conley was in earlier this month, averaged 31 minutes a game. And he averaged 33 when Conley was out. So 31 to Bojan. Bingo. We'll take these 17, give them to Joe Ingles. Ingles was playing 24 minutes a game, but I think that was starting to trend up. So make that 26, which leaves me 25 minutes for Jordan Clarkson. Done. Simple. Man, the Jazz are so easy to project. It's such a refreshing endeavor when everybody is just like available and ready to go. So who do I need to take off of here? Not too much. We'll take off Mia One and then Jawan Morgan. And that's probably going to cover a lot of those guys at the bottom. Covers literally all of them. Cool. Easy. All right. Bojan, 20.6% usage rate. So we'll make it 21. Favors, 14.5. He could stick. Mitchell, 31.2. Ingles, 16. Clarkson, 25. Mike Conley, 24. Royce O'Neal, 10. Rudy Gobert, 19. Utah. So for Utah, basically nothing. A little bit of Mitchell, a little bit of Gobert if you want. You're not playing the Jazz tonight. Not a good spot. Easy peasy. Washington, final team before we're out of here, guys. I knew it was going to take me about an hour and a half on a 10-gamer. I'm happy with that. Let's go to the Wizards. Everybody good except for Ish Smith, which means that I shouldn't have to change this rotation all that much. Or the rates for that matter, which is helpful. I need to give Russ an extra minute. Powell Neto actually played alongside of him. Troy Brown was out of the rotation, so that's good to know. Garrison Matthews played 12 minutes. So let's give Howell Neto 22 minutes, which opens us up to give Garrison Matthews like 18. Yeah, 18 works. Bertans at 27. He played 30. That's concerning. Mo Wagner played 24, so he is just like a fixture now. Robin Lopez, just a fixture now. Rui played 36 minutes. I've got him in for 32. I think that all looks fine. Denny saw a little bit of a minutes cut. We'll give him 23. So who is the guy picking up all this extra time that I'm not giving it to? Beal 36, Russ 33. Both of those things are fine. Rui at 36. You know, I guess I can give him another minute. I have Garrison Matthews projected more than I would have expected. I guess it's Troy Brown is the most likely guy to see the floor. So we'll give Troy Brown the spillover. I don't need to make any changes to rates right now that I can tell. That should be fine. So if we look at Washington, Beal and Russ, not a lot of value elsewhere, but it's mostly Beal for me. So that'll do it. We done. Let's look at the summary information for this slate. So on DraftKings, my favorite preliminary plays are Jason Tatum, Nikola Jokic, DeLon Wright, Damian Lillard, John Wall, Jamal Murray. That is the spot that I'm looking at for right now. Obviously, majorly subject to change. On FanDuel, top plays right now: Jokic, Lillard, Murray, Jeremy Grant, going right back to Michael Porter Jr., Tatum, Embiid, DeLon Wright. Man, there's a lot to like tonight. I really like Joel Embiid today, and Nikola Jokic is like twice as good. It's insane. All right, guys, that'll do it. An hour and 37 minutes. It took a little bit, but we got where we needed to be. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. 232 of you in here. This is a really fun morning. 10 gamer. Tomorrow's going to be easy. We can take our time. 3 games. I could probably take some additional questions and stuff. So if you were planning on skipping out tomorrow's show, don't. We can be a little bit more in depth tomorrow. That'll be fun, just because it's an easier slate. Check out my contenders videos. They will be out within the next 2 or 3 hours. Top 10 plays on FanDuel and DK. Strategy show with myself and Laffy. Buckle up for that one. We're going to try to get through as much as we can. And then live before lock tonight, myself and Greg, 6 to 7, and then an extra half hour for Super Draft. You know what? I can actually do that too. Favorite plays on Super Draft for those that are hanging out right now: John Wall, #1 play on Super Draft. Jokic 2, Lillard 3, Al Horford 4, Jamal Murray 5. That's where we're at. Look, and we're going to have a ton of news coming in as well. So, pay close attention. Tune back in for Live Before Lock. Guys, thank you for joining me. I'm happy to have you all the time. Good luck tonight, everybody. I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning.